Hey guys, Traplord here, and today I'll be showing you my level 55 Spellsinger guard. That being said, there are many ways you can play this class, but this is what I feel works best for me. So let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is what is the role of a Spellsinger and the pros and cons of the class. So the Spellsinger is pretty much a long-range magic assassin that focuses on getting off massive critical hits in a short amount of time. The class works best for group PvP, though builds can be modified and changed to help it excel in 1v1. Alright, so the pros for this class are it has the highest burst in the game, decent mobility, very high range, multiple builds you can use to fit your playstyle, works well in group PvP, and it's easy to play but hard to master. Alright, for cons, the class can't break away from most CC, doesn't have much CC you can use, and is easily countered by a lot of classes in 1v1s. The first build I'm going to be showing you is my 1v1 spec, and I'll also be showing you some rotations you can use with it. The 1v1 spec that I take is generally focused around a deep freeze combo, which is a 15-second long freeze, so it's not a stun. And then you usually follow that up with a meteor strike, and it's pretty much a one-hit combo. Though it is generally pretty hard to hit, but when you do get it down, it's absolutely crazy to use. So for sorcery, you want to take Flame Bolt. That works really well with drop back. Use that at the end of rotations usually, and when you're trying to escape opponent. Take Freezing Arrow because it's required for the Deep Freeze combo, as well as Frigid Tracks and also Freezing Earth. Chain Lightning is a really nice instant cast ability that does damage over time when it's after you use it. Arc Lightning is also really nice after you've landed the meteor and the trip for 3 seconds. You always want to cast that one off and generally follow that with a God's Whip, which you cast 5 times. You want to use a Magic Circle, increases your magic attack and magic crit rate for 9 seconds. You generally do this before you cast the meteor. And for passives, we take the 10% magic critical rate increase and the 15% skill damage increase. We also take Insulating Lens. This is just a really nice, helpful shield. Also prevents you from being tripped when it is up, and also increases your stealth detection by 200%. For Suncraft, I like to take Quick Step. It's just a really nice mobility. It increases your movement speed by 28% to 42%, really depending on how long the song is being played for. You take that for this class because you can't fit in for anyone because you don't have enough points. You take Silent Strain because it's a 2-second stun if you're not using Obsidian Staff. And it also puts the Charm effect on them, which works well with nearly all abilities in this tree. You take Critical Discord. It's like a 1-second cast time, nearly instant, and then if they have the Charm effect on them, it will fear them for 3 seconds. It's really nice if you're going to set up Arc Lightning as well. Hummingbird Ditty, the 8% decreased cast time, is also really nice for getting a meteor off faster than usual. Healing Hymn is also really nice. It instantly restores your health depending on how much spirit you have. It doesn't heal you for too much, but it's generally one of those things you use when you're running away and you have something like a blade or electric shock on you. Bloodchain is also pretty crucial in this build. It increases your attack speed and attack. Generally you play this after the meteor strike it's been cast and it's coming down to hit them, and they'll generally apply the effect just before it hits them. Alarm Call is also really nice for when people lassitude you. For the passives, we take the 5% increased cast time, which is generally nice. Discipline Performance is really good for when you're versing mage casters and they God's Whip spamming you at the start of fights, and if they do crit you, they're gonna do like literally no damage to you for the rest of the cast. The decreased stun and silence duration is just also another nice thing because you're not going to take the loudspeaker due to it not being a group PvP class. And the Zeal is pretty much the bread and butter of the whole class. It increases your magic critical damage by 50% and your crit rate by 55% for 9 seconds after you've done a successful magical crit. For Shadow Player, we take Overwhelm and Stock Smite to get a trip off. This really helps you to get a deep freeze combo because when they're knocked down, you can walk over them and apply the chill effect. Backdrops is really nice to use with Flame Bolt. Stealth's also really good, just to catch your opponent off guard if it's in arena or not. And Shadow Step's also really nice gap closure if you're going to do the trip combo as well. Alright, so this is for rotation. You want to start off with Frigid Tracks. First thing you want to do is try Stalker Smite, and then after that you're going to want to Shadow Step nearly straight away. Next you want to try Overwhelm them, and because they're knocked down or tripped, if you successfully do it, you can run over their body and apply the Frigid Tracks debuff. After that you want to instantly Freezing Arrow them, and then you see you got the 14-second deep freeze buff. You want to put down your circle, pop in your dash if you have it, and then start channeling your melee strike. And just before your melee strike hits, you want to use Blood Chanty to get the extra damage bonus as well as attack speed if you don't kill them afterwards. 9 times out of 10 this will kill them if you do land it, but it is pretty hard to land, so I'll show you a arena clip now. Alright, so it starts arena, I start channeling my Frigid Tracks, but he instantly shadow steps at me and focals me. I start running backwards and he actually runs into the Frigid Tracks and gains debuff, so I instantly Freezing Arrow him and turn away from him so I don't auto attack him and cancel out the debuff. And then I go into the normal rotation and then one shot him pretty much. Another thing you want to do is when the melee strike's channeling is select yourself, so then you don't auto attack them and break them out of the freeze as well. Alright guys, so this is my open world PvP build, and I also use this one generally in 5v5s. It's pretty similar to my other build, but the things that we've changed, we take out the Frigid Tracks and the Freezing Arrow and we put them into the 5 meter range increase and as well as a decrease cast time. We do this because this is a really long range build and it's really built around doing long range nukes in open world PvP. We also took out the 10% decreased stun and silence duration and we put that in the loudspeaker, which is pretty useful when you, even though you're playing songs for a short period of time, it really does help out your teammates. And this is my other open world class. The only thing that I've changed is taking free runner instead of the melee strike, and the reason I do this is because you're not standing in one spot for a long time. The only time you'd ever do that if you're going to arc lightning someone, but generally it wouldn't be that long of a cast time due to decreased cast time with the Starling Stream. You're really running around a lot. This is like a Miss Mario sort of event, and when you're doing a Guild Wars event. Now I'm going to show you some open world PvP as well as 5v5 arena that I use these builds with, as well as the rotations I use with them. So this clip I pop my Fear on as well as my Berserk buff from an Adachi, and I use Quick Step before I go into stealth. When I come out of stealth, I use Starling Strain to get the decreased cast time straight away and the Blood Chanty for the extra damage and attack speed. I then spam out my God's Whips and weave in between with a Chain Lightning. At the start of this clip, I use my Blood Chanty before using my God's Whips for the extra damage, and I also get my Zil proc. I noticed the enemies aren't targeting me, so I find this a great time to use my Arc Lightning and then follow up with a Fireball spam with the backdrop. After this person's killed, I used Starling Strain for decreased cast time as well as Ezzy Glider to escape endless arrows. I then still mark the target and find this great opportunity to do a sideways backflip so I don't backdrop too far away so I can't spam out my fireballs, as well as a Blood Chanty into an Arc Lightning for even more damage. I then use my God's Whip again to spam out this target, and I realise he has Stalk Smite, so I go for Overwhelm to trip him. I then follow up with another backdrop and fireball spam. While some 5v5 arena clips play over, I'm going to go over some things to remember when playing Spellsinger. The first thing to remember is to be using your buffs before using your high hitting skills like Melee Strike, God's Whip and Arc Lightning. The main buffs that you're going to be using are Blood Chanty as well as Magic Circle if you can stand in one place without getting caught. Another thing to remember is to be using a Frenzy and a Adachi, and the reasoning behind this is that it increases your damage by 25%, but you also take 70% more damage. So using this at the right times is crucial, and being able to know when to use it does really matter. You can buy this from a weapon merchant and it costs 140 gold. The last thing to remember is how to position yourself in team fights. Generally you want to stay at the back, and when you have all your long range abilities up, you'll want to find a squishy target like a Primeval or a Dark Runner and spam them with most of your instant cast abilities, and then follow up with an ability like Arc Lightning. And most times if you do your rotations correctly, you will kill them. Alright guys, so I'm going to jump straight into gear setups. Generally you're going to want to take cloth, but you can take plate as an offset, but really only want to do that if you're going to be doing a lot of arena. It does help when you verse melee, but generally I wouldn't take it as a main set. For weapon, you can either two-hand or you can use a dual wield, but generally I think two-handing is a lot better with a staff, just because you're a straight burst class and the extra attack speed you get from dual wielding really isn't worth it. For the staff, I take a V2 Obsidian staff because it gives you a combo effect that when you cast Starling Strain, it charms the target straight away and you can start spamming Critical Discord. This is because Struggle counters Starling Strain straight up and renders those two abilities useless. And when the patch 2.0 hits, you can fear people who have Witchcraft because they remove the fear immunity from courageous actions. If you are going to do dual wield, you probably want to take a katana, the Obsidian katana that is, as well as an offhand of the V2 Obsidian dagger. For cloth setups, you can generally take a lot, but generally I take the 4-piece Obsidian as well as 3 pieces of Warrior. I take Obsidian hood as well as the Obsidian shirt because they give you the flat magic attack increase, as well as I take the gloves, increases your magic critical damage, and the boots decrease your cast time as well. So that's really helpful. And for the Aurora pieces, I take the Aurora Mystic Sash, increases the range of arc lining by 5 meters, which is absolutely insane because it's one of your main abilities that you're going to be using a lot. For the gloves, I take the Aurora Mystic Gloves, increases freezing arrow duration by 1 second. It's not that great, but I am planning to upgrade this to something like a Delphinad sleeve, but it will do for the meantime. And for the pants, I take the Rory Mystic Pants. It increases the size of meter stroke by 1 meter, which is absolutely crazy just because this is generally an open world PvP spec and you're going to be hitting a lot more people with that. For accessories, it's really choice, but generally I did have a wave necklace, but I did destroy it trying to regrade it to Divine. So at the moment I'm using this one, but generally you want to take a wave necklace because of the magic penetration. For earrings, you usually want to take life or wave. I'm just using life at the moment. I am planning to get wave, but the increased resistance to casting interruption by 51% per earring, which is really good. And if you take both of them, you get the 100%. So if you generally want to take a dream ring, if you can get it. If not, you pretty much want to go with dual wave rings to decrease your cast time as well as flat intelligence, which is always helpful. For bow, you generally want to take Obsidian bow. It gives you the flat stamina as well as mana increase. Though if you are rich, you can take the wave bows, the Furium or Delphinad, but that's really expensive and you can use that money for something else. For the flute or instrument, you generally want to take anything wave with flat intelligence. You can also take the Miss Marrow flute. It's Delphinad equivalent, and if you take the sorcery one, it increases your insulating lens shield by I think it's nearly 550. It increases the defense that it gives you by I think 100 as well. For Lunar Gems, you generally want to go with a lot of flat physical defense, but for your chest piece, you want to go for resilience. And the Lunar Stone, you want to put on that as a 3% damage decrease. For the pants, you want to go straight toughness as well as the toughness Lunar Stone, which is really helpful against melee classes. For your boots, you will want to go for flat movement speed, but it is really expensive to do and you want to save that to last if you're just gearing up now. For Lunar Stone on your gloves, you generally want to take the magic critical damage increased by 16%, which is absolutely crazy and really helpful. And for your cloak, generally you want to take the toughness cloak, but if you do get lucky and you can get the decreased cast time or even the movement speed and attack speed cloak from Aurora, you generally want to use that. But this does give you an extra CC break, which you can't really refuse. It's really helpful as this class has no CC breaks except for Alarm Call if you do take it in your build. I also forgot to mention other gear setups you can use. You can also use Serpentis. It has a really good set bonus, and as well it's free if you can get a guild to do it for you or find a group. If you're rich, I guess, you can also take a full Ethereum set as well as Delphinad or Ironad. Generally you want to take Wave, Ocean or Lake, or even Meadow if you want. Alright guys, so this is the last part of the build. I'm going to be going over mounts as well as gliders that you can or should use. So I'm going to start with mounts first. The best mounts in the game at the moment are currently the Mirage Snowline. The reason behind this is it has the same base speed as every other mount depending what armor you put on it, and it has a charge forward that increases your movement speed as well as gives you immunity to everything for 3 seconds. You can get up to about 30 meters per second with this. As well, it has the standard dash and it has the stun as well. You can also go with other mounts like the Thunder Dash. It's pretty much the best looking mount in the game in my opinion. Though they did nerf it, they are speaking about unnormalizing tier 3 mounts. So if they do unnerf this mount, it would be really worthwhile. So I would recommend this one in the future probably. Another mount that not many people use or talk about is the Mirage Leomorph. Generally because it has the stealth ability. You can also get the Crimson Lightning Burst, generally a really hard mount to get. But this is more of an open world PvP mount, generally in like group PvP or Miss Mary. You can use this to avoid big zergs as well as just any big group of people if you want to scout out an area with it. So generally that. So for gliders as well, you either want to take the Sloth Glider. It has a 30 meter backdrop if you use it properly like this. You can also use a Glider, which I also used for a very long time. It gives you 7 seconds of immunity, which is absolutely insane. Because generally you're going to burst someone and then to escape, you can either use the Sloth Glider or the Glider. Generally what's easier to get. But I found out now that the Glider is really hard to get because of the rise of Black Pearls due to the change of crafting in accessories. So whatever you can get, generally, you don't have to use these gliders. Also, you can use the Shadow Glider. Let's get this one here. This is the one that gives you stealth for 30 seconds. Generally, you want to use this one in big open world PvP to get behind your enemy and set up for some insane combos. Like, you glide over them, saying Hazard or Halconia, go invis, and then you drop off in a discreet location, and then you'll set up for like a meteor combo, follows with God's Whip and all that insane stuff. So that's the last part of this guide, guys. If you could, give it a like and subscribe. I did put a lot of time to this, it'd be awesome. And also comment what you want me to do next. See ya.